Hello, hello. Good evening, everyone. Welcome, welcome again. I'm so glad to be here tonight with a new topic on dating with your soul. Hello, soul family. I see you are joining through YouTube and Facebook and Instagram, of course. Today is Friday. I'm in Florida, and well, I'm so glad that. Oh, wait, because I'm not live here. Let me see. Hold on a second. Yes, now we are live. I'm sorry, I was trying to go live also on Instagram. So here we are again. Finally, I think we are. Yes, we are live. So welcome, welcome to another topic for, I'm going to repeat it because the people that is on Instagram couldn't hear what I was trying to communicate. So tonight's topic is called The Child Sacrifices for the Clan Unconsciously. Yes, and I am going to be giving this perspective from the systemic point of view, meaning from the family constellations point of view. For the ones that don't know me, I'm Maya Ari del Sol, and I do facilitate family constellations as well as I train other souls who want to use this healing method to heal or to help heal others, especially the ancestral part that sometimes we are not aware of and that needs reconciliation. So welcome, welcome all. I see some people joining on Instagram as well as on YouTube and also on Facebook. I can see Yolanda and I can see Edgar and Michika. Welcome, welcome. Okay, so before we begin our night, or our topic tonight, let's say, I want to open this invitation. We are about to begin our training program on family constellations. We will begin on the 1st and 2nd of April. And we have the doors of the Institute open for registrations. So if you want more information, you can visit our website, systemichealinginstitute.com, and you can see all the modules, all the modules of the program, as well as the dates, and also what the modules are about, and also the value. And you actually can register there if you feel like this is a call from your soul, because usually this isn't about pushing information, but every time I come out here just to give you this new perspectives that we haven't even thought about it, because this information sometimes kind of like challenges us. Even myself at the beginning, I was like, but how come? But once you get to understand how we are connected to our family system and to our ancestors, and how we repeat these sort of stories, repetitive patterns that, of course, are carrying the same sort of emotional pain and suffering, and we don't understand where these roots come from. And once we get to acknowledge that we are connected to that family system and to those ancestors that are carrying these sort of issues, we might be able to liberate ourselves from that, and also liberate the descendants that will be coming. And also, we will help the ancestors transcend what maybe, you know, they couldn't because they didn't have this information that you're having tonight. So, welcome, welcome. Our topic again is the child sacrifices for the clan, of course, unconsciously. Yes, all the information that I will be sharing here happens at an unconscious level. Means that, oh, I didn't know that, I don't understand that. Yes, your mind and your conscious, the conscious part of you is not going to understand it, but it is there in your unconsciousness. And someone needs to transcend those memories and those trapped emotions and limiting beliefs from our ancestors. Otherwise, the whole clan will keep repeating the same repetitive patterns. And we don't want more of that because life needs some sort of a change in order to evolve. And we all souls that are here today on earth are in that mission of helping life evolve, to direct ourselves and the whole system of life towards a new destiny. And for that, well, each of us needs to do their part. And so that's why I'm bringing this information here. Thank you, whoever is there on Facebook sending me those hearts. And thank you for the hearts that you have been sending also on Instagram. Thank you so much for being present and for being willing to listen to this systemic point of view that I am going to share tonight. So let's begin. You might say, but how is it? Because you might say, how is it that I'm sacrificing myself for the system or for my family system? I don't want to do that. I don't choose that. I don't agree with that. I'm trying to resist that or reject my family system because I don't want to do it the same. But the more I, resist it, if you're not aware of that information that your system is carrying and you yourself are carrying because that's part of your genetic inheritance, then of course you will be attracting a sort of the same. Yes, and we don't want that. So that's why I am bringing this topic tonight. So when we were children, I'm going to talk about our childhood here. When we were children, there is an age where I don't know if you remember that you wanted to be a hero. Do you guys remember that age when you wanted to be a hero? That boys wanted to be Spider-Man or Superman, Captain America, and girls wanted to be, Wonder Woman, and all of those superheroes, right? That want to save the world, right? So there is a part of us when we are children, let's say around 5, 7, 6, 7, that we believe that we can really save the world. There is a part of us that don't understand life yet, but we feel so powerful that we feel that we really can be those heroes. Yes. And let's say that you as a child see maybe mom or dad going through some suffering or pain. And you, as a child, you don't want them to be unhappy. I'm talking about what the child, like the perspective of the child that probably was also yours. So there is this inner part of you that is connected to that inner child who used to see mom suffering. Why was mom suffering? Just ask this question if you remember or you have memories of seeing mom maybe crying, maybe upset, maybe with anger, sad. All of these memories, this child in you who was maybe looking at mom going through this moment, that superhero in you wanted to save mom, just didn't know how. So somehow, unconsciously, we create an agreement, a contract, an energetic contract. Just listen to this. It's an energetic contract that says, mom, I will save you no matter what. And when you say that, well, this is what happens. Let's say if you, mom, are crying and you're sad because maybe the father left, abandoned the system, or died. And so maybe this child, maybe you are a girl and you're looking at your mom going through that pain. Unconsciously, this child says, mom, I'm going to carry that burden for you. I will carry your sadness. I will carry your pain. So you don't have to carry it. I want you to be happy. I will sacrifice for you to be happy. Of course, this is an illusion because this isn't true. This isn't going to happen, right? Bert Hellinger, the creator, let's say, or the one who integrated information to create family constellations, used to say that the child lives in this illusion or that believes that or pretends that can be the savior of the system. Yes? So when the child is seen that is causing pain, the child unconsciously says, I will carry that for you, mom or dad. Yes? So even though the relationship with mom or dad wasn't that good, for the child, my parents are perfect. In the perspective of the child, mom and dad are perfect. And since this child has this perspective, of course, you have the perspective of, I want to save them. I want to be the savior. So, mom, if you are angry at dad, then I'll be loyal to you. I will do it the same as you're doing. So if, let's say, the mother rejects the father for any reason, then the child might say, Mom, I will reject my father as well. So it's like the child starts carrying the burdens of the unresolved emotions and perspectives of one of the parents. Yes? So this is when you unconsciously create these energetic contracts or agreements of you wanting to save mom or dad or the marriage or the house or the whole system. And so in this, many things happen. Yes? For example, let's say that one of the parents died. So this child unconsciously says, I will do it like you. And probably doesn't die physically, but maybe live a life that is like a zombie, like no life at all, disconnected from life. Yes, it's like I'm doing it just as you, whoever departed, mom or dad or one ancestor. It doesn't necessarily has to be mom or dad because we are connected to a whole family system. And in that family system, there are many members, and they all had issues, especially in the past. Our ancestors went through a lot of pain and a lot of confrontation and issues that had to do with how the system, the bigger system, like the society and the culture and the beliefs, were affecting each of these systems. So we are carrying all of that information of our ancestors today in a different way. Because you might say, oh, no, I'm not doing it like them, I'm doing it differently. But there is an unconscious part of you, which is that inner child who is carrying that information. I'm going to give another example here. Let's say that a mother went through sexual abuse and maybe kept it secret because maybe this mother feels shame or guilt. All of what is there, plus all of the emotions that are trapped in that memory, that's a trauma. And maybe if the mother hasn't been able to express or release or liberate this memory to transcend it, then maybe the next generation will go through the same. See, there is an unconscious part that if the mother couldn't liberate, then the next descendant might live the same experience. Why does that happen? Because the system wants to liberate this memory that affects the whole system. and needs one member or one descendant to say, this isn't normal that I'm going through these experiences. Because abuse can be shown in other ways, not only sexually. Maybe it could be that others put so many burdens on you and you accept them. So you accept the abuse in other ways. Yes. When you don't have or you don't know how to set boundaries, that is a sort of abuse because you accept that sort of um, relationships with others. Yes. So abuse can be shown in many ways. And I want you to understand how these memories unconsciously are affecting you today and you might not be aware of. So if there is any, let's say, aspect of your life that is not flowing organically or as you like it to flow, or what you want to manifest, or you want to create a different reality for you and you're working for it, but it doesn't really happen. Maybe it happens the opposite. It means that probably you are connected to one of these memories of your ancestors. Yes. For example, I'm going to give here another example. Maybe your mother wanted to be a professional, and maybe she couldn't because probably she had to be the mother of these children and maybe the wife of this husband. And maybe that's how she learned at home that she had to be the house, taking care of the whole house, but not being a professional. So maybe this mother somehow is repeating this pattern of being just that. And maybe a descendant wants to be successful. Maybe a woman wants to be successful and is not being able to break from that pattern. Yes? So this means that this descendant is saying, Mom, if you couldn't be successful, I won't do it either. I will do it just like you. Yes, there is a part of the child that feels like if I get to be successful as my mother desired, but she couldn't, then I feel like I'm betraying her. Yes. And so when you have this unconscious, um, let's say, thought, perspective, then you sabotage the possibilities for you to become successful. Yes, it's all psychology. It's all psychology. If we don't take care of these unconscious perspectives, they are controlling our life and what we want to manifest. Let's say, I'm going to give another example here. Let's say that a father had a business or had different businesses, but couldn't be successful at one. He will lose the money or he will lose uh, like fail in that business, and it was one after the other and one after the other. So maybe you have the idea of having this business, but maybe you have the same fear of your father of failing. I will fail just as you, father, because if you couldn't be successful at what you're doing, then I won't do it either. And so unconsciously, we sabotage ourselves. And that's the inner child in you, that hero, that inner child hero um, that somehow unconsciously say, well, if you couldn't do it, I won't do it either. Because I don't want to create something different, So you have to somehow liberate these memories. These memories are information that you are carrying, and it is in your DNA, in your epigenetics. Yes, we not only inherit or are the genes, the part that we, the body, the eyes, the color of the skin, the color of the hair, the color of the eyes. we also inherit that success, health, um, abundance, relationships, how those relationships were between mom and dad or between grandparents, because somehow the way they related might be the way you are relating today. So somehow we are attracting experiences that are similar to the ones our ancestors experienced. Because if no one has seen that there is no functionality in this experience they had, somehow the system has that information, meaning that the whole system will behave as the ancestors did, because they don't know more. They don't know more. They just would follow, and we do follow. Yes? And if you have any questions, please leave them here in the comments, because I love questions and I love sharing. If you have something that you say, oh yeah, now I can see my repetitive pattern. Oh, I can see that maybe I'm sacrificing myself for my family system, for my mom, for my dad. Now I'm going to be giving here another example that maybe could be extreme, but it happens. Yes, let's say that a parent is sick and the child is probably 6 years old or 5 or something around that age. The child unconsciously, that superhero child at that age, would say, I would die for you, mom or dad. And probably when the child grows up as an adult, something might happen to them. They might die of the same disease, or get the same disease if it is a disease that the system is carrying, or maybe will attract unconsciously, of course, an accident to die. And this is why Bert Hellinger used to say that the child would do it just as the system does, because the child, that superhero part of the child, feels like if I sacrifice my life, the whole system can be good, fine, well. And of course, that's an illusion, because that's not how it happens. Yes? So let's go to the book. For the ones that don't know it, I wrote this book. It's called Alchemy for the Soul. You can find it in Amazon in version paper, also in Kindle. And Janet is not here today, but Janet used to say, buy the book, buy the book. There are 7 steps here for you to understand how you are connected to your ancestors and how you can identify with these memories that might be affecting your present and what you want to manifest. There are also exercises here that you can practice, 22 systemic exercises that can help you liberate those unresolved memories of your ancestors. So you can start creating, transcending these memories and creating a different reality for you. And of course, for your whole family system, for the descendants that are to come, and of course, for the ancestors that couldn't do it. And of course, as you do that, you will be helping the whole system of life, because remember that it is said that we are one. So if one piece of that wholeness heals or reprograms one of those memories, one part, the wholeness will recreate that transcendence. We all will experience your transcendence. So that's why pretty much I'm here tonight and every Friday sharing this information. Okay, so for the ones following the book, we are on page number 249. Yes? And I am going to be reading a little bit of the information, the content, and then I will be expanding the information, of course. So this is what it says. The child's loyalty to the system is so rooted within that he or she is willing to sacrifice himself or herself for it. Yes? All of this happens unconsciously. And I'm repeating this a lot because it is an energetic agreement that you do and you don't remember it. It's like, I never said that or I never thought of it. But when you come to a family constellation session, let's say, you will discover how you want to sacrifice for the system, how you follow those memories, how you repeat the same patterns and dynamics of your family system. Yes, so that's why I kind of recommend you, if you haven't, to experience a family constellation therapy. It is hard to explain what that experience is because, of course, it's an experience. And you won't be able to understand it until you put yourself into it. There is a series in Netflix that is called Another Self. And if you want to have an idea of what a family constellation is and how it works, I do recommend you to watch it. I also, here on my YouTube channel, for the ones that are on YouTube, I have two YouTube channels for the ones that speak English and for the ones that speak Spanish and Espanol. So there is one program that I did where I did an analysis on that series. So what is that it happened there and why it happened? And then there was a facilitator on family constellations who helped these people transcend those memories of their ancestors that were affecting some of them relationships. Like there was a lady who had memories of betrayal. So when I'm talking that the child sacrifices for the system means that I follow you, mom. So the mother of this lady, let's say, the one of the protagonists, she used to let's use this word, hate betrayal. Like she couldn't accept it. Why? Because her mother went through betrayal with her father. And the more I resist is the things that I attract because that's what I need to reconcile within, right? So when you get to go and see this series in Netflix, Another Self, you will be able to understand how a constellation session goes and what it moves because it really all of those emotional triggers awaken and it is necessary not for you to feel the pain or to be in pain but actually is to release the pain. If we don't live the experience and we don't confront that truth, we won't be able to transcend it. We need to go through it again. Otherwise, it will keep coming back to us, and we don't want to experience that anymore. We are tired of feeling pain. And this pain actually isn't yours. You're carrying the pain of your ancestors. You are carrying the emotional uh, energy traps that was in grandma. It could be you could be feeling it today. It sounds crazy, but at epigenetics online, scientifically, it has been proven how we inherited these traumas and those emotional feelings that haven't been able to be released, expressed. Hmm? So it is important for you to take responsibility of your part. Yes, it's not enough just having a massage or a healing session or energetic healing or trying to reprogram your thoughts, and you need to do your ancestral work part. The ancestral work part is recreating, transcending the unresolved memories of our ancestors. Yes? Okay, so let's continue with this. So the child is willing to sacrifice for the system. all of this happens unconsciously. Children can be loyal to the point of carrying illness and even die to pay for something that wasn't solved in the past. I want to talk about that part. Maybe one ancestor, let's say, I'm going to be extreme here, killed someone. And maybe that memory hasn't been, it's a secret. Let's say that that memory is a secret. So when someone kills another person, somehow it becomes a debt. Yes, there was one loss, one life was lost. And who's going to pay for that? See, because there is no, we're talking about compensation here. So if this is the case, right, the system is carrying that debt. How is that debt going to be showing down for the descendants? Well, someone needs to pay for it. Yes, it could be that financially your finances die, or you want to be pregnant and maybe you cannot, so you're not able to bring more life because something is trapped there. There is a trapped memory that haven't been seen or resolved. Or maybe one ancestor says, okay, I'll pay with my life for that debt. So someone dies. And that's how you pay for those debts. Makes sense? See, know that creation wants this to happen. It is a way of compensating the past. And all of this happens at an energetic level. So for you to see how you are connected to these memories, you must go through maybe a family constellation therapy. Okay, so let's continue. What else? Where was I? Oh, here, I'm sorry. They can take the burdens of the conflicts that weren't resolved in the past and sacrifice their own happiness. For example, if a mother couldn't be happy, then the child would say, I won't be happy either, mom. If you found a man who abandons you, then I will find also a man who abandons me. Yes? Or if the boy says, Father, if you couldn't be successful, then I won't be successful either. I will follow you. So all of this happens unconsciously. For example, if one of the parents failed to be successful, the inner child in us can be torn in two paths. One could be that even having the potential to be successful, the child says, I won't be successful since you weren't successful, mom or dad. Or two, the child follows the dream of what the parent couldn't accomplish, even if it isn't what he or she wanted. Observe, all of this happens on an unconscious level. I'm going to give an example with this because I have seen this a lot. For example, a mother would say, I always wanted to be a ballerina, but my mother couldn't pay for my classes, or just there was not enough money, or there this and that, or all of whatever happened in that past. So this mother maybe has a child and she wants that child to be that ballerina that I couldn't be. Yes? So the child sacrifices for the mother to be happy, even though they don't want to do it. And I have seen these sort of stories where the children or maybe this child will become very good at dancing, but it's not in their heart to dance. Like they have another desire in their hearts, but they don't want to break, their moms or dads' dreams of them being what they couldn't be. And that happens often. Yes, the child says, oh, my mom wanted me or my dad wanted me to be the best lawyer in the world. So maybe this woman, or if they identify with the father, let's say a woman identifies a lot with the father, and the father wanted a boy, and he wanted a boy because maybe this father is a lawyer and wants a son to be a lawyer as well, and maybe a girl is born. And so maybe this girl, as an adult, becomes that lawyer because I want to be loyal to that. I want to make happy my dad. So I become who I don't want to be just to make my parents happy. Yes. And there we will be trapped in that energy, that unconscious energy of that inner child who wants to make mom or dad happy. Yes? So remember that all of this happens unconsciously, and the agreements are energetic. They happen energetically. Okay, let's continue. We self sabotage our chances out of loyalty to our family system, and we are not aware of it. Yes, sometimes we see our mom, our dad, grandma, grandpa, and we say, oh, I won't do it the same. And maybe you feel free during your 20s, you're all happy, your 30s, and then the 40s come. And somehow the roots, the roots of your ancestors start following you and you get trapped in it. And when you less expect it, out of the blues, you're trapped in the same sort of dynamic. And you're like, by how? The more I resisted, that's what I'm living today. So this is what happens. You need to resolve or reconcile these memories in order to change it for you, for your own reality, and for your destiny and for the destiny of all. So it says, when we are about to achieve a goal or something, or when we feel happy, the guilt of the inner child in us sabotages what we are about to accomplish. It's like I feel guilt if I don't do my parents happy, or I feel guilt if I do it differently. Yes, I don't want to be the rebel. I want to do it as they want, or they know more than me. We will talk about that one later down the road from this book, but for now, let's just be here. Unconsciously, we feel, how can I be happy if my parents weren't? I don't deserve it. Yes, so look the words I use here. I don't deserve it. So maybe if you see that your parents couldn't make it and you are making it, it's like, oh, I don't deserve it, because you feel guilt or you feel that you're betraying your system unconsciously. Yes, please understand that these are all unconscious dynamics of your psyche. Yes. Again, all of this happens at an unconscious level. If there is unworthiness in the parents, the child in us will attract situations or people who can make us feel unworthy, and therefore sabotage our professional success or create failure. Yes? So if our parents didn't feel good enough or worthy of receiving or deserving, so the child copies. Monkey sees, monkey does. If you, mom, feel that you don't deserve, then I don't deserve. If you, father, feel like you don't deserve, I don't deserve. If you, father, feel like you're not worthy enough, I'm not worthy enough. Yes, this is all unconscious, And that is an unconscious belief, perspective that is trapped in your information. And you are the one who must liberate it. Hmm? So it says, such is the unconscious loyalty to the family system that the child accepts everything except to do it better than his or her ancestors, because that would be a betrayal. This happens in our psyche. Yes? Mhm. So I'm going to leave it here. I'm not going to be giving extra information, just for you to think about this and maybe digest it a little bit and say, I never thought of it, because that's the first thing that you might say, oh, never seen that perspective before, that we as a child wants to sacrifice for our parents, and because we want to save them, we want to be the saviors. Yes. And so that's what I wanted to share tonight. Before I go, of course, I want to invite you again to uh, probably, if you want to go deeper on finding these unresolved memories of your ancestors and your family system, your parents, then maybe you can join our training program on family constellations. It is starting on April, the first weekend of April, and we go very deep here. I'm here just touching the surface for you to kind of get the information and kind of want to know more. More than that, that you want to experience family constellations. Yes, because we all need to do this part of the ancestor healing work. And there must be one descendant who wants to change what is to make it differently. Yes, of course, with love, compassion, and gratitude. That's how we do it in the systemic work of family constellations. So, if you're interested on knowing more, you can visit my website, systemichealinginstitute.com. All the modules are there, all the dates are there, and of course, you can actually register right there. And for the ones that maybe want to just know a little bit more and you don't know about the ancestral healing, and I really want to understand more, then I will recommend you to get my book, Alchemy for the Soul. You can find it in Amazon, in paper version, also in Kindle. And so you can have an idea of how it is that we are connected to our ancestors. And of course, there are systemic exercises here that you can do in order to transcend those memories and to facilitate your destiny and the destiny of your family system and the destiny of all. So I don't know if you have any questions or comments so far, but if you do, please leave it here in comments. And also, I want to invite you to share this information. Yes, probably many people haven't heard about this systemic way of the family system and how it works and how we are connected to it and how we are living these experiences that we don't want to live but are connected to our family system. And we need to understand a little bit of our psychology, how it works, and how we accept, as a contract, as an agreement to follow what they did in order to, at certain point, recognize that we want to change that for ourselves and for also recreating life. Yes. So thank you so much for watching. You can leave any questions here. I'll be happy to answer them, or just maybe ask some questions about some topics that you would like to know more about, all related to ancestral healing. That's my field, my element. And so It was an honor, as always, to be with you tonight. Thank you so much. I appreciate your presence and also your willingness to hear this information. And I hope it serves you well. I hope it can bring a new light to see where you are and how you can change your present and your reality and what you want to manifest for you and for your descendants. And so you can reach me, of course, again. If you are on YouTube, there is a number here that you can send me a text through WhatsApp, or you can visit my website, mayadaridelsol.com. Again, mayadaridelsol.com. If you want an appointment, maybe a one on one session or a group session. Usually, a one on one session is a group session because if you make an appointment, I bring helpers to live this experience of the family constellations. So I'm sending love and blessings to all. Thank you so much. Hi, Sunshine. I'm seeing you. Thank you for being here. And I'll see you next Friday, hopefully. Okay, sending love and have a good night and a beautiful weekend. Bye.